Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today, we're going to talk about reverse engineering a deck because that's exactly what I did. I built the deck, and then the last card I chose was the General. Okay, maybe that's not entirely true. Because I picked this General, I had to add one more card. We'll get to that in the end. But what I wanted to do, what I wanted to build was mono green infect. Just mono green, no black, no blue, no nothing. Just mono green infect. And I was looking through legendaries and I was like, you know what? I don't think I'm ever going to use Silvos in any other way. He's an elemental, but he doesn't really help elementals. He is, however, 6 mana, 8 power, trample with the bonus of regenerating. So he is pretty ballin' by himself. So let's get into the infect cards. Now, way back in the day before infect, we had things like Marsh Viper. Now, as far as mono green infect goes, there's not a whole lot of creatures, so I had to kind of fill in some slots here with the Marsh Viper, and then Mirage gave us the Sabertooth, which Sabertooth is pretty neat. It gives them one right then, and then a chance for another one. So I don't have these in mana cost. So we have Glistener Elf, which just good old fashioned, was dominating modern until Invigorate got banned. Pauper. Virulent Sliver. This is the only sliver in the deck, and yes, there is a chance that you could go up against a sliver deck and it could wreck you. However, if you go up against a sliver deck, don't cast it. We have the 2 mana branching out into artifacts here. The Plague Mirror, of course, serves also as a mana rock. The Necropede, the Mirror, Blight Mamba. I love Blight Mamba because, regenerating. See, they hated on it for a long time, but now that it's not a thing, they stopped hating on it. So I kind of like it. We have Blight Widow. Yeah, it's got reach. Now, you pay a premium for infect on creatures. I mean, there's no other word on there that is worth a 4 mana 2/4 reach. Because that would be just Giant Spider, and that just never sees play. But I guess in that aspect, infect is free on this. Huh. I guess I picked the one card that wouldn't that counters my point. Anyway, I like this because you can actually, this works. I love the Tangle Angler because you can actually make it to where their entire team has to block him. Yeah. So kind of like, I don't know, his own personal lure. Lure is really good because if you're attacking somebody and they have a huge team and there's no way to bust through, you slap your lure down. Yes, your creature that the lure's on is going to die, but you know what? There's a really good chance so is your opponent. And if you don't get the lure thing, you can always Sylvan Scry for your Rogue's Passage to repeatedly to get in there. Anyway, back to the Creators. The Corpse Cur. Hey, it's going to get one of your dudes back. And your dudes are going to die. It's just going to happen. We have Cyst Bearer. Rot Wolf. Now, Spinebiter. Oh my. See, I did not know this card existed until I went to build this deck today. And I'm telling you what, I don't know how I played through Scar's block and never saw this card. This is ridiculous. Now, yeah, here's the Infect Premium, the 6 mana 3 power, but it's still pretty good. We have the Phyrexian Swarm Lord. I mean, it makes infecty insects, so that's really good. The Juggernaut. I'm hoping that we get some more poison stuff when we go back to Dominara, maybe? I don't know. It has to attack. It's 5/5 infect. You know what? I'm down with that. Putrefax, of course, the ball lightning, if you will, of infect. The Phyrexian Hydra. 7/7 is pretty big. Of course, you know, it's gets really small really quick. Core Prowler. Reading Corruptor, of course, some tacked on, added artifact destruction. I'm counting Carrying Call as a creature simply because it does put 2. I mean, it's a 1 for 2. The Betrayers. And our last creature, of course, is Telejad Fallen, which, screw you, Brea. The last deck I did. Anyway, now, I do have, like, another creature that it's hard to consider Brawn a creature because the whole point is you want him to die. Now, the reason why Brawn is in there is because I desperately want my team to have Trample. I want Trample. I love me some Trample. Trample's great, especially with Infect, because so good. So, let's see. That's the creatures. Let's go through the ramp before I get to the good stuff. Now, I'm the 2 mana rocks, the stone, the diamond, the Felwar stone, and the medallion. The medallion actually makes the most sense. If I had a soul ring, it would probably be in here. But I love the medallion because it almost takes off that extra infect tax that they throw onto cards. You know what I'm saying? So, and then we've got the good old-fashioned, you know, rampant growth, Nature's Lore. Nature's Lore is good if you only care about forest, by the way. Nature's Lore is amazing if you only care about forest, because it ain't tapped. Harrow and Skyshroud Claim. Skyshroud Claim, why are you not focusing? These are also not tapped. So that's really, really good for, of course, now it is forest. It does not say basic forest, so, you know, you can use Skyshroud Claim to go get your Bayou or your, you know, overgrown tomb or whatever. Okay, now, much like, see, the reason why, what inspired me to build this deck was next weekend, as y'all know, I live here in Tennessee, and next weekend a Grand Prix is coming to Memphis. No, I'm sorry, this weekend, in a couple of days. A Grand Prix is coming to Memphis. Plan on going. I'm not going to play in the actual Grand Prix because I've been out of Standard so long. It's not that I have anything against it. I love Standard. I love Magic, period. But I've been out of it so long, I'm green. But Pauper really, you know, I want to show some love to Pauper. I may run in a few Commander events, you know. But, so I was like, man, I'm going to build me a Pauper deck. And I built Mono Green Infect. And then I found out a card was banned. Invigorate. And I lost all desire to play the deck. And then it took me a couple days, and I was like, but you know what? I could totally build an EDH deck. Anyway, we want to pump. Obviously, our dudes, I don't care. They can gain as much life as they want to. This is free. This is a free +4. It is an instant. You're going to wait till you're through, or if you've already got your trample on, then, man, here you go. A free +4. Now, we're going to roll through some of these because they're just, you know, we all know what Giant Growth does. Specifically using Revise because I love me some White Border. Y'all know that. Rancor, pump that stays around. It gets +2 and trample, which is sick. Mutagenic growth, because, hashtag pauper. Vines of the Vastwood I really, really love because this is a counterspell, essentially. Um, and with the bonus of, +4/+4. I like me some Wild Size. Yeah, not a lot of people play Wild Size, but this card does everything this deck wants it to do. It's +2, it's trample, and it draws you a card. So much win. Aspect of the Wolf is, that's the early version that we had because it increases it by half the number of forest, which is nowhere near as good as the Blanchwood. Blanchwood armor, mono green on an infect creature. If you get lucky enough to get your Rogue's Passage, well, you're target number one, first off. Might of Oaks, and to a lesser extent, the Stonewood Invocation, also crazy pump spells. Maybe not as crazy as the Primal Bellow, because, wow, here again, each forest. Now, Loxodon Warhammer, of course, grants the trample and the +3, so this is some lifelink. It probably don't hurt, because, we don't have a whole lot of defense. We're just straight up offense here. And then Stratascythe is about the best permanent, it's an equipment Blanchwood. That's exactly what it is. Now, Strength of the Tajuru, it's not really single pump, but it's not really team pump. So, of course, Overrun, so good they can't print it anymore. Apparently, we get things like Overcome now. But you know what? I don't care. It's plus and trample. And like Overwhelming Stampede, it's plus and trample. But you're probably going to play this after you've used your Giant Growth or your Might of Oaks or what have you. Now, that's right. I've got the Bow of Nylea. The Bow of Nylea it's a one-trick pony. I have no way to search it up. It's the only card in the deck that grants Death Touch. And only, of course, to attacking. But that's what we're going to be doing. You have to roll out aggressively. Have to. So, Bow of Nylea. Trample Touch is a thing that is wicked. It should not... I know I've explained this before, but we've gotten a lot of new viewers since then. Trample and Death Touch together. Death Touch says you must assign... Trample says you must assign lethal damage to the defender before any damage tramples over to the player. Death Touch says all damage is lethal. So my 5/5 attacks, your 5/5 blocks. Mine has trample and Death Touch. I can assign 1 damage to your blocker, and the other 4 trample over to you. That is it's a pretty sick interaction. It's even sicker when you throw in that creature has Infect. So, Stampede, you know what? It's way back. It's just +1 in trample, but it's a trample enabler, and it does, pump at least 1. So, and it does only cost 3. This was back in Ice Age, the underpowered set of the world. And then, of course, Beastmaster Ascension, which is the ultimate team pump. Now, it doesn't grant trample or anything. Now, let's get into some just good old-fashioned utility. We're going to draw some cards. Harmonize is about the only card draw we have. Killing a flyer. Yeah, I'm not trying to pronounce that word. Anyway, destroy a flyer, which everybody's got them. It is called Elder Dragon Highlander. And it gets a poison counter on the off chance that they don't already have one. Running basics like Naturalize. Now, I like the Noxious Revival simply because it's a free instant. You're going to pay 2 life. I don't care. It's free. But, man, that's a great card. Target card. Not green, not creature, not just target card. It's a Phyrexian Reclaim. But I think that card is actually already existed. I have the Contagion class, but don't have the Contagion engine. They are all in other decks. I don't know that this is the deck to, like, dump a whole bunch of money into. But because it's probably not getting played a lot. I can imagine this getting played, no more than once a night. I'm going to attempt to take it on Friday to the local play group, but I'm pretty sure two or three of them in the local play group watch these videos, so maybe I need to plan this to where it releases after Friday. No, that would be bad. Anyway, Hurricane also kills flyers and players. Be careful because it can kill you too, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. I love Constant Mist. It is the best version of Fog, hands down, bar none. It's I love it. Stronghold was an amazing set anyway, but Constant Mist. It just keeps on delivering. I love it. It's great in Azusa. It's great here. Praetor's Council, because your stuff's going to die, or even if it doesn't, your pump spells are, a lot of your pump spells are just one shots. So Praetor's Council kind of fixes that hand size thing. It's not like we're going to be drawing a ton of cards unless we go into a group hug deck or something. But now, let's see. Oh yeah, monocolor decks. I don't know if I've told y'all this before. Yeah, that was my text tone. Anyway, the monocolor decks, I'm using obviously the cycle lands, the deserts, and the thickets. I think I'm currently out of the Urza Saga one, but just because it's decent card draw. And the last actual card, once I had built the deck and I was like, man, I got one card left, but I need to look for a general and whatnot. And I found Silvos, and I was like, he is 8 power, but he doesn't have Infect. The two snakes I have don't have Infect, the 2 Vipers. I realize that it's super redundant, that for most of the time, Triumph of the Hordes is going to be +1/+1 and trample. I get that. It's a stampede. But your general, you start the game with your general in your hand. Only you can't be discarded. That's your 8th card. And if you're playing partners, that's your 8th and 9th card. So it's amazing. He's there when you need him. It's only 6 mana, 8 power, and he already has trample built in. So that is why all the enchantments and stuff that actually grant Infect, they're black. So we can't use them because I wanted to build mono green, obviously. But that is why I'm harping on about the Triumph of the Hordes in a deck where 20 of the creatures already have Infect. That's why. We got a few that don't. Maybe Brawn gets in there. Anyway, that is what I have got for the really, really unfriendly version of Silvos. I don't know if there's another Silvos Infect out there, but man, he sure is good for the value. 6 for 8. I do appreciate you watching. Y'all let me know what you think. And hopefully we'll see some of y'all in Memphis. But right now, we're going to shuffle and cut.